Hello, artist, and Merry Christmas. I'm bringing you a lesson where I'm going to show you how to make your own printable greeting cards in a program that I use all of the time. This program is called Canva. The great thing is it's free. It does have a few features that you have to pay for that are premium, but for the most part, you can do this on the free version. It is available as a computer program and an app. And I use it all the time. Okay, I'm in Canva right now. And when you pull it up, I'm on the home screen. You will have to log in and make you an account, a free account. And if I scroll down here, you can see how many, it's not populating everything. I mean, I even make like my homework album review covers. I make my thumbnails for my YouTube videos. I make everything. I made my book, Artistic Inspirations, that I just get put on Amazon. I made it through Canva. So it's a powerful program that you can use for all kinds of projects. I'm currently, the very first design here is, this is a calendar that I'm making. I made a calendar last year of my art to have a 2024 calendar. And one of you asked if I was going to make one for 2025. And I'm in the process of doing that. I hope I can get it done before New Year's. So again, just so many things that you can do with Canva. And let me know if you guys would like some more tutorials, if I can sneak them in for using Canva. Oh, I've got down here too. I'm trying to create a book, The Joy of Painting with Soft Pastels. But again, I have too many projects for the time that I have in my life. So let me show you how you can make your own printable greeting cards. There's a way you can make a card on Canva and have them print it for you, but it's going to be more expensive. Anytime you go outside of doing it yourself, it's going to cost more. So what we're going to do here is, the goal is to be able to create, obviously your printers will only print an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. So we're going to make a design that will make 2 greeting cards per one regular 11 or 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. And the way that we're going to do that is, first we're going to go to create a design. I'm also going to give you a little link for a video of another girl. She shares an excellent tutorial on how to do this. So in this Patreon post, I'll have a link to her video. She does a beautiful job with this. I think it's before Canva just made some updates, but things may look a little different on her video. Now they have create a new design over here to the upper left. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to try to keep this as simple as possible. And what I'd like to do is, I'd like to create a custom size. So you see down here, I'm going to click custom size. The first thing we're going to be doing is creating a design that is half of the 8.5 by 11 page. Okay, so we're going to have the width be 8.5 and the height to be 5.5. This is going to be the first card that's half the size. Okay, so just bear with me. It'll all make sense in just a minute. Okay, now you see how it turned red? It's because pixels was selected over here for units. I need inches. So let me change it, and I'm going to have to change my numbers again. I'm glad that happened, because you guys might do that and go, what the heck? Why is it doing that? So it's 8.5 by 5.5. So, and it's going to be, I'll just keep it landscape like this. It's fine. Okay, so here we go. So here's our design right here. And what I'm going to do now is, just to be able to see where things are going, I'm going to temporarily just put a line here, okay? I'm going to rotate this line. This is just to show you the half mark for this card. And the neat thing about Canva, watch what happens. When I get to halfway, it locks it into place. Oh, I can also see my line's not straight. Okay, so I'm going to pull the line down here and pull it up here. And there we go. I got it straightened out now. And this is just to show the mid mark. I'm going to remove this before I actually save this design. So now what do we need? We need some artwork, right? I'm going to go back. I already have some artwork. But for your sake, you're going to go to uploads. You see over here on the left, all of these icons over here where it says upload. This is where you're going to upload your artwork. Okay. And I have so much artwork in here. These are the AI Christmas images. Pardon my chimes and things here. I'm trying to do this in one take without editing it. I could choose one of these designs here from the AI images I provided to you guys. But I want to use one of my own designs. I'm going to search up here for some of my uploads, and I'm just going to type in Christmas because I know I have some Christmas things in here that, yeah, these are some of mine. I'm going to do, let me do this little birdie. It's vertical. I'm going to put this little birdie in here for a Christmas card, and I'm going to make it, not quite the full size of the card. I think I'll do it up here like this. And also he's, I think he's facing, yeah, the correct way if we fold this card. But if you find your image, you want to flip flop it, there's a flip button up here and you can just flip it horizontal or leave it the way it is. So we've got that now. You can also, if you feel like it's a little dull, there's a button up here. You can edit your image. So Canva is also a pretty powerful editing program. I'm going to look at some of these filters down here. That one looks pretty good. I like that. And I can go up here to adjust right here at the top left, and I can adjust the brightness of the image. Oh yeah, it needed to be brighter. Sometimes your photo, you know, isn't quite right, and that's always a pet peeve of mine. I try to get my images to look very much like the paintings, especially if I'm selling them on Etsy. I want it to look like what they get in the mail. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so that looks pretty good. So we got our sweet little bird here. I also can do, let me see if this works. I might be giving you guys too much information here, but you see how the edges of this image look kind of not the same color as the background of the paper. I can crop it too a little bit. There's a little something black showing, so I'll bring it in just a little. But there's a feature that's called background remover. Now, you may not need to use this if you're using just a picture of your pastel painting, but I'm going to click that and see if it'll get rid of that outer edge. You can do this with photos too. It'll just keep the person there without all the background. Thought, yeah, look at that. See, now when I click, it got rid of that. Well, it didn't all the way up top there. But again, I'm probably giving you too much information, but you can actually go back to the background remover and you can erase things. You can move these things around. There we go. And I'm going to come in here with this erase tool. Skip this part if it's too much. And I'm going to erase little bits of that didn't, the background remover tool didn't get rid of. I'm going to make my brush size a little smaller, and that should look a little bit better. Again, I've been using this Canva program for a long time, and some of you probably know I majored in graphic design. I use Photoshop. So don't do all of this stuff if you're brand new at this. I'm going to go back. Just use your pastel painting and you'll be good. Okay, so now I'm going to save that. And it should have got, yep, it got rid of all of that. So now my image looks very clean, right? I could get crazy and go in and edit this a little bit, but I'm not going to do that. Now, what do we need? We need some text, right? So over here to the left is a text tool. Again, just don't worry about editing your image if you don't want to. You can just put your pastel painting in there and then simply go add some text. So I'm going to click this text tool and I'm just going to add, you see down here, default text styles. I'm just going to add a little body of text. I don't really need a heading, subheading. Because you can change the sizes of all of these. So there that is. And I'm just going to keep this real simple. I'm just going to say Merry Christmas. I'll change the location in just a second. All right, there we go. And I'm going to move it right here. Again, I'm going to keep this real simple. Maybe, yeah, I think my image is okay. Now, if you don't like that text font, I don't love that, you can click up top here. Right up top here is where you can do the type of text, the font. I'll talk about size in just a minute. And you'll get to where if you use this a lot, you have some of your favorites. I kind of like this little one. It's kind of cute. And now to resize it, it was called Brittany, I think. To resize it, I can do two things. I can go up here and click the plus button, or I can just simply drag this corner tool and make it larger. So I do think I'm going to move my image up a little bit. Again, you see how it locks into place when something's centered? I really love that. All right, so there is my little birdie. I'm going to make him a little smaller. See how I can drag the corner, make it a little smaller. I could add a little border around it. There's all kinds of things you can do here. And now on the back of the card, I'm going to add my my logo or my name. You could put your name as an artist, and you could put your website underneath or just your email address. So I'm going to click, I use this a lot, Monet Cafe. I already had it, but you could just, again, create a new body of text. And I'll do, let me do like this. I'm going to change it. I usually don't use the little hyphen at the end of Monet Cafe because I find it's easier for people just to find it that way when they're searching for me. So there's Monet Cafe Studio, and I can put let's lock it into the center here. Come on, get into the center. Where's the center? I'll guess it. Usually it'll give me the little mark. And then I'm going to put, no, you don't have to do this. I happen to have a logo, so I'm going to go here. This is another thing. If you have a brand or something where you have a logo you use all the time, over here to the left, you guys don't need to worry about this. I'm going to click on it just to get my logo. So there's my logo right there. Now I'm going to make it smaller, and I'm going to put it right here. And now I'm going to add my, I think I'll add my YouTube channel underneath that. So again, just repetition is the mother of learning. We're going to do it again. We're going to go to the text icon over here to the left. We're going to pick a little body of text right here. And I'm just going to type youtube.com/@Monet Cafe. And I often like to use my YouTube channel because I have so much content there. Again, I can just resize this. I like that it's just a simple font, so I'm just going to leave that on the Canva Sans. Try to center it right under there. Come on, there we go. And now we've got a Christmas card. Look at that. And I'm going to get rid of the center line. We don't want it there when I go to print the card. Okay, that was just to make this design. So I'm going to click the line. I'm going to get rid of it. Okay, and now I'm going to save this design. We're going to duplicate it on a new design that we make. That's a full 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. It's all going to come together in just a minute. So what I'm going to do now is up here to the right, there's a share button. This is how we're able to download it or do all kinds of things. So I'm going to click share. I'm going to go to download right here. We want to get it onto our computer. Click download, and I'm going to make this a JPEG object, okay? So JPEG object, and here we go. We're just going to save it. It's going to save it to your download file on your computer. Isn't that cute? They give you a little picture of your card right here and everything. So we've got it saved on our computer right now. You can also title these up here. This one's just called Merry Christmas. You could make it Christmas bird card. You just double click it and rename it, and Canva saves that file for you. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to Canva, the main home screen, and I'm going to create a new design. Okay, this should be getting a little familiar now. And this time we're going to make a custom size, again over here to the left, and we're going to make, now we know to change it to inches over here. And we're going to make the full 8.5 by 11 inches. This is the size that's going to fit in your printer. Okay, so create the design. And now I'm ready to upload my image. So I'm just going back to this upload button here, and I'm finding my file, my design that I just designed, and it's loading it up. And now I'm going to place it on my 8.5 by 11 piece of paper that I just created. So it put it in there smaller, but again, you can grab the little corner icon there and pull it to fit, and it'll lock into place. And there we have half of our card. So what we're going to do now is we're going to duplicate this. Rather than going back to the upload and putting another one and stretching it to fit, let's just duplicate this one. And the way to do that, there's a duplicate button up here, but that's going to duplicate the whole page. You see that? So don't do that one. Let me erase that page. I'm going to click the design, and notice a little duplicate button shows up down here. So I'm going to duplicate this design, and I'm just going to pull it down. Now it's exactly the same size as the other one. Pull it down, and voila, we have two of our designs on our 8.5 by 11 piece of paper that we're going to print out. By the way, too, let me click this one here. I went in and reconfigured my design. I already printed it out and could see my Merry Christmas was too close to the bottom, and so was this. So you might have to tweak your design. When you print it out, you'll get a good idea of of what it looks like. And then you'd go back and, kind of tweak your original one, download it, and then put it back again in double form in this 8.5 by 11 design. So now I know mine is ready, and I want to show you now how to print this. First, we have to save it. And I'm going to go back over here, just like we did before, to the share button, and I'm going to go to download. We're going to save it to our computer so we can print it. And also too, I want to show you real quick. I called this one, I renamed it Greeting Card Bird Design. Remember how I said you can give them a title? So you can not only find it again on Canva, it'll have a title to it. It'll give it the appropriate title for your design, but it'll save it to your computer with that design name as well. So let me go back to share. Let's go to download. And now I'm going to show you, this is how my printer works. I have an Epson printer, and mine works best if I save it as a PDF print, best for printing. You see that? And I'm going to click that. And I'm also going to choose, it has two options here. One is best for digital use, that RGB stands for red, green, blue. And this down here is best for printing. It stands for cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. So I'm going to pick that one, and it's going to give me my best quality for printing. So I'm going to download this now. I have it all saved, my correct settings. I click download, and it's going to save it to my computer. And now I'm going to show you how to print it out from your computer. Just got to find that file. If you're on a Mac computer, you're going to go to your Finder and you'll go to your downloads. But whatever computer you're on, just find your download file, and Canva will, you can see I did a few of them. I kind of tweaked and corrected some things. Canva will put it in your download file or folder. So I'm going to open that up, and there's my sweet little bird design. And I'm going to show you here how to print it out, but I want to point something out. If you choose, say you uploaded a beautiful pastel painting of yours and you took the painting all the way to the edges of the design, see, mine doesn't go to the edges. If you did that, you're going to want to use something called borderless printing. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a second design that I'll create right after this one. So I'm going to go up to File. I've opened my design. I'm going to go up to File. I'm going to Print. It'll open my printer option. And what I'm going to do here is everything is correct, but I'm going to make sure, first of all, that I have the best quality. Right now, mine is set to normal, and I could leave it like that, but I want to set it to the best printer quality. So I'm just going to make sure I have that set to begin with. Then if I want this image to go all the way to the edges, again, if you have your painting that it's called a bleed, a full bleed in graphic design, if it goes all the way to the edge, you're going to go to your paper size. And again, if your printer works this way, and you're going to choose right here on US letter, you're going to choose borderless. And that's going to take your image as close to the edges as you can get. So I chose borderless, even though mine doesn't go all the way to the edge. And now I'm just going to print my design, and I'm going to give you some suggestions to the type of paper you can use to print this that will make it look much better than just regular, you don't want real thin, just copy paper. I wanted to pop over here to a YouTube video that I'm going to share as a link in the description of this video and Patreon post that is so well done. It's by Sandra Ide is her name. And I thought she did such a great job using Canva and showing you how to do basically the same thing I've just done. But she also gives some great suggestions with printer paper, the type, and here's some of the information here that she recommends. I'll have this in my description as well. But then she also gives some information. She has lovely designs. And I think that's the same cutter that I used pretty much. I'll show you in a minute. And at about 7 minutes and 37 seconds into her video, she gives you some tips if you don't have a printer that has that borderless option. So again, her video has a lot of good information as well. Check it out. And if this all seems overwhelming right now, it's really not. You just have to try it and check it out, and you'll figure it out. And now I'm going to show you how to make another design. This time, if you have a painting that's of a landscape orientation rather than a portrait orientation. Once you have your main template, And you can upload more of your artwork to create multiple cards using the same little template you've already created. Now, I already have a lot of little Christmas designs, and I really like this little snowman. And obviously, it won't work on a vertical card, but it would work on a horizontal card. So I'm going to shrink him down. You see how I just grabbed the corners there? And again, let me add my line back in the center here so we can just kind of see where things are. There we go, right there. So now I have my little snowman here. And again, I can edit it and brighten it up. I'll move that in a minute. But, well, let me go ahead and do that. The Merry Christmas, if you want to turn it sideways, look at that little rotate tool. This program does everything. And you basically just square it up. I want to make sure this one doesn't get too close to the edge. Kind of had my other one a little close. Now I'm going to edit my little guy here. And I'm going to look at some of the filters that they have. Sometimes I like those. Let me flip through a few of those, and sometimes I don't like them. So now I'm going to go back to my original image here, and I'm just going to touch it up myself up here where it says adjust, and I get brightness. Let me brighten him up, make it a little more like a brighter watercolor, and I'm going to give it a little more saturation, maybe not too much at that. A little more vibrance, maybe. Vibrance just, it's a long story. But I like that. That looks good. Nice and bright. And now I've got my Merry Christmas. I think I'll make him a little smaller. Actually, let me show you what I was telling you. I wanted to make sure I mentioned. If you take your image all the way to the edge, okay, I'm going to take my little snowman all the way to the edge. I made it just big enough to fill the whole size there. Now he's kind of out of whack, so I'm just going to click it and pull it down to where I want it. I'm going to move it over a little bit, and I think I'll put my Merry Christmas kind of up here. Let's see here. I'm turning my head sideways to see this. Let me, I put my cursor there. I'm going to click enter and make it tall, or two lines rather than one. So I'll just put it right there like that. Actually, this is a case where I'd kind of like to flip this guy. So I'm going to click it, and I'm going to flip him horizontally and move the text. Now I need to flip my little back of my card here. You got to kind of think about how this is going to print out. And I want to do it all together. I don't want to flip each one. So I'm going to, there's a couple ways you can do this. I'm going to click the logo. I'm going to hold down the shift button. I'm going to click my type 1 and 2, and now it lets me flip the whole thing together, and it'll kind of lock it when it gets squared up there. And I'm just going to move the whole thing, make sure it's not too close to the edge. All right, so now I've got my card. I'm going to get rid of my little line things up, and I'm going to save this. And now we'll be able to see how to print a border, a card that's borderless, that has a full bleed. You take your design all the way to the edge. So I'm going to click share. I'm going to download it, and I'm going to save it as a JPEG. And I forgot to mention in the other one that I did, we can actually make the quality better. It's going to be a larger file, but if you're printing these out, you want it to be a nice quality, a good resolution. So I take it all the way up. And you see this little crown icon under here? You might need to upgrade to the premium version of Canva to do that. I'm not sure. It might just allow you to save just as a regular JPEG with those lower levels. So I'm going to click download, and now it just saved my little Christmas snowman. Now I'm going to go back to my template. I already have the 8.5 by 11 here. I just took my little bird design away, and I'm going to upload my new little file I just made. There he is. And I'm going to place him. It's loading, come on. Place him right here, and I'm going to put it up in the corner and stretch it out, and it'll stretch right to that size I need. And then I'm going to duplicate this design. Bloop, there he is. And I'm going to pull him down here, right there. Now I've got a horizontal card that I can print out. So we do the same thing again. Again, once you do this a few times, it's like you get it. Like anything else, like painting, right? Like I say, keep doing it. I'm going to click share. I'm going to download it, and I'm going to download it as a PDF best for printing right here. I'm going to choose, and again, you might need to use the premium version of Canva to do the professional printing. Otherwise, just save it as a JPEG. We're going to download it. And then I'm going to go back to that file and print it out. And once again, I'm going to choose my printer options that work best for this. Right now, you see it did give a little border. You might be able to see that on the edges. I'm going to look at scale to fit here. No, that makes it smaller. I'll click scale. And like I said, we're going to take the paper size. If you have an image that goes all the way to the edge, I'm going to click borderless, and I'm going to see if it prints it all the way out. Otherwise, you could trim it with your paper trimmer. I'm going to show you that in just a minute. So now let me click scale. Yeah, if I click scale to fit now, it stretches the image out. So again, with whatever printer you have, you're going to have to play around with your settings, make sure you get it just right. Now again, I want to make sure I print it the best setting. So on a Mac computer, I can go to the quality, media and quality, and I can choose best. And now I can print out my snowman design. Now we're going to talk about trimming these and the right paper to print it on. Before showing you my printout, I wanted to show you again what the artist Sandra shared in her video. These are the papers she recommended. I'm going to get some. I did not have any of these papers, and it looks like they printed beautifully. So it's the Koala 48-pound matte or the Koala 66-pound double-sided matte. It's going to be matte on both sides, or the Koala 72-pound satin photo. It's a little bit of sheen to that one. I never prefer glossy, especially if your art is a pastel painting. Matte finishes always look better. And now let me show you how she scored her card. And I'm using her demonstration because it was so great. I promise you I'm going to show you me cutting my cards. She took her card and just used a little scoring. You could use a credit card. She just put it right on the little groove in the paper cutter. I'm going to show you where this is on my paper cutter. And she just kind of scored it on both sides. And that's going to make it fold so nicely. And by the way, the middle point for that fold where you want to score it is at 4.25 inches. And now I'm trimming my greeting cards. I'm using a paper cutter. It's called Furbon. I'll have all the links to these products in the description of this video. The one that she used was Frisker's, but I'm basically just lining it up at the middle point, and I got to lift my my cutter tool all the way up to the top here, and you press it up against the top edge and press down the bar. It's got a little handle right there, and press it down kind of hard, and then just also press hard and fast, and it's just going to give you a nice clean edge cut. Now my printer printed out still showing, I had a little pastel dust up there, still showing that edge. And if you wanted, you could trim off the edge. I'm going to show you how I'm doing it, but keep in mind you're probably also going to have to trim off the edge on the other side underneath your little logo or your name so that it folds in the right spot. You'll have to trim it accordingly. And that's totally up to you, but I'm just going to show you kind of how I trim it. Once again, bring the little cutter all the way up to the top, hold down the little bar, hard and fast. And again, I'm just trimming off these little edges. Oh, and by the way, the paper that I used, I mentioned I didn't have any of the paper that she recommended, was just regular cardstock paper, a little thicker than copy paper, and it printed out just fine. So there's my halfway point. I didn't bother to do a scoring tool. I'm just going to fold it. But I'm showing you how if you wanted to score it, you just do like she said, put it back in the cutter, line up that middle point with the little groove, and it makes such a nice, clean little score to allow you to fold it very nicely. So here is my little card. It worked out great, and I'm going to cut my other little birdie cards now. And now the same process, using my little paper cutter, lining it up right there on the middle, and making a nice clean cut to make my two cards. Again, you could score it with the technique I just showed you from her video. For the purpose of this video, I'm just folding them. Now I did notice I probably should have pulled my little Merry Christmas down. And by the way, I would do a couple of practice runs on regular paper so you don't like waste your money on the good stuff. And here are my little greeting cards. You can see it wasn't all that hard. You'll get the hang of it. And if you're a patron of mine on my Patreon page, I really hope you will share your greeting card designs if you make some of these. We would all love to see them. If you're not a patron, it's real easy. You can click that link right there. And as always, God bless and happy painting. And now I'll add Merry Christmas.